Hey there, I'm Corey. I just jumped into the electric vehicle world. Overall, it was a pretty easy decision for me to go electric. Most of my day to day is commuting to and from work, maybe running the kids around a little bit, somewhere in the 100 to 120 miles a day or less, in many days, less than that. And of course, like most new to the electric vehicle world, they have a big concern. What's going to happen on road trips? So this weekend, I had an opportunity to try it out. Now, this car doesn't have many miles on it yet. I haven't even hit 1,000 miles. I think I'm at 754 miles. And specifically, it's a 2025 Tesla Model 3 rear wheel drive. So long range rear wheel drive. By the numbers or by the books, it's the Tesla Model 3 with the longest range. I don't know if there's other models that have longer ranges. I think there are. But as far as Model 3s go, by the books, this has the longest range. So I thought it'd be cool just to share with you what actually happened, kind of compared to what Tesla said would happen. And then I'll wrap it up at the end with just a few of my thoughts. Like, overall, was it a good experience or not? So I've got my little cheat sheet here. I'll run through some numbers really quickly, and I'll share those final thoughts with you. And maybe this helps you decide if jumping to electric is right for you. Now, there are other factors to consider, so don't just take this one video, do a lot of research. But one of the most important factors, I think, is can you charge at home? And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm charging at home. And I'll share you a little bit of detail around that, just based on how long it's going to take to charge after the road trip. So here are my numbers. Our total trip was supposed to be 296.2 miles. It ended up being 295.1 miles. So whatever, one of the destinations was a little off. We went to the Michigan International Speedway. So it probably had me parking, conceptually somewhere else than we parked, right? Just little bits here and there, but all in all, really, really close. We left at 100% battery at, I don't know, something like 7 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. I use the mobile charger, but it's hooked up to 220 volt or 240 volt, and charged it to 100% the night before. That was the first time I had charged it to 100%. Hypothetically, we should have returned at about 20% battery. Now, I say hypothetically because in the Tesla trip planner, from what I can tell, you can only have 5 destinations, or maybe it's your starting location and 4 destinations. And we ended up actually needing about 5 destinations the way it all worked out. But anyway, all that to say is we were supposed to return with about 20% hypothetical battery. We actually returned at 17%. So 3% less than hypothetical. All in all, I'm pleased with this. And I think I know why. I'll share in just a couple minutes where those 3% were lost, if you want to think of it that way. In my gas cars, I care about fuel mileage. You might not think so because you see a Tahoe back there that doesn't get great fuel mileage, but I really always cared about getting the most mileage. So the 295.1 miles took 83% battery. That means I got about 3.56 miles per percentage of battery. That's how I'm going to think about it. I know there's other ways. That's how I'm going to think about it. So if I took that 3.56 miles and multiplied it by 100%, that's 356 miles of hypothetical range. Now, I don't remember what the Tesla's hypothetical range is off the bat or right off track, but now I don't remember what Tesla's hypothetical mileage is for this car, but well, here's a screenshot with the number. You'll be as surprised as me. I told you I would talk about charging. Again, I'm on 240 volt, but it's a small amperage circuit, so I'm only charging at 24 amps. But anyways, from that 17% that we returned, it's going to take 9 hours and 20 minutes to charge, which is great for an overnight charge. Okay, so here are the factors that I think played into the loss, if you will, not meeting the expected battery percentage by 3%. Number one, speed. I don't know what hypothetical speed Tesla is counting on. And I don't drive fast, at least compared to what seems to be normal in the population these days. I drive about 5 over everywhere I go. So 60 on the back roads and 70 on the highway, or 75 on the highway. And I really, really try and focus on not using the brake at all, allowing as much regen braking to fill that battery back up. So maybe being a little bit over speed impacts, I would assume that the faster you go, the faster you use battery. So maybe being a little over speed takes a little bit of that percentage away. Number 2, pre-cooling the car down. 2 of the places we stopped at, one was for 5 or 6 hours and the other one was for an overnight. Before getting to the car, I chose to pre-cool the car. I turned the air conditioning on, allowed the car to start cooling down before we get in it. Super nice. I'm a huge fan of being able to do that, but most certainly it's going to use more power just sitting there. You're using the battery, but not moving the car. 3, there was some traffic. So specifically leaving our venue yesterday, the Michigan International Speedway, there was some traffic and it was hot out. So of course you're cooling the car down and you're not moving at all. So I think that probably was a factor. And then one that I knew existed, I wish I knew exactly how much this was a factor and if it's the right thing to use or not, but there's a function that Tesla has called cabin overheat protection, where it will essentially use the air conditioning to keep the cabin temperature at 100 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Or maybe you can change that, but that temperature, I'm not sure, but it'll keep it at 100 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. And you can choose to use the air conditioning or not in that function. So while we were at the racetrack, I had cabin overheat protection on with the air conditioning. At our second stop, our overnight, I chose to turn the air conditioning off so it would only blow in ambient air because it was cooler out where we were. And I'm not sure if it was used there or not, but most certainly cabin overheat protection will use battery while the car's not moving, hence minimizing or reducing your range. Another factor for me is, you can probably tell, the car's not tinted yet. And not everybody chooses to tint their car. I do. I will tint the car. And I happen to believe that that would help keep the temperature inside of the cabin cooler. I mean, I don't happen to believe that. That's true. It will keep the cabin temperature cooler and probably allow you to rely on the overheat protection or even the HVAC system in general when you're going down the road less. And the less you use it, the more range you get. So that's my spiel. Overall, my impression is this was fantastic. It was a great experience. To get almost 300 miles, I never felt like the computer was lying to me. I never felt like it was going to use more battery than what it said it was. Matter of fact, on our first leg of the trip, we clawed back a percentage or two based on the estimate it said right off the bat. All in all, I have a lot of confidence in the car. Now, I just would encourage you to really think about the factors that are at play. How big of a risk are you putting yourself in? And I probably think about this from my aviation days, right? What is your reserve? How many superchargers are around or available? Or what does the charging network look like where you're going, right? All these things will calculate into whether or not this is right for you. But for me, as somebody that always came from super efficient, like my last car was a diesel that would get 600 miles on a tank of fuel, coming from super efficient vehicles to what is still efficient, but shorter range, I think it was absolutely great. Now, we most certainly will find ourselves in a road trip that will take us past the battery range, and I look forward to being able to tell you more about that when it happens. But if you're concerned or thinking, man, I really like road trips, I don't know if the Tesla is right for me, I challenge that thought. It was pretty great. All right, we'll talk to you all later.